Good morning. Here we are, ready to get ourselves moving. So let's bring ourselves into our good standing posture with heels under the hip bones, toes level, feet parallel. And just taking that moment to just settle the feet into the mat, finding that nice foundation through the feet and then beginning to focus into your breath. So let's breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just nice long deep breaths, noticing where that's going, so you're getting that lovely full expansion around the rib cage, and taking that moment just to tune in and notice if you're feeling any little aches or niggles or stiffness that you just need to be careful with as you're working today. So if you're joining us online, make sure that you've got a block or a cushion for support, and do listen for any modifications. Okay, so arches gently lifted, noticing for tension in the kneecaps, so legs straight but allow that kneecap to just feel soft, and thinking about getting some engagement into the abdominal. So we'll take the hands onto the hip bones and just allow them to gently tilt forwards and feel how that stretches the tummy muscles. And then exhale, start from between the hip bones. Just see if you can gently lift them and feel that they connect all the way up to the rib cage. Inhale to release. And exhale to pull up. So it's just a little tilt. We can start to add in the pelvic floor as well as you exhale. But just notice if you feel like you're squeezing your glutes to do that. We want to try and make it all abdominals. And you will feel a bit of activation because they are moving, but we don't want it to be all glutes. So let's find that nice neutral where we've got a 30% connection here, and relax the arms down. Okay, let's take a shrug up. And exhale, roll back and down. Lovely. Feel if both shoulders feel like they're moving the same. One side feels a little tighter and a little less mobile than the other. That's it, lovely, and down, wonderful. Let's go straight into an arm float, lifting from the little fingers and coming back down. So feel that that collarbone area stays really wide as you lift the arms. Lovely, that was really good. Taking a breath in and taking a breath out and seeing how that feels. And now we're going to start to take that a little bit further as we go to the back. So this time as you take the arms down, we're going to think about pulling down a little bit more and squeezing the shoulder blades together. Inhale up. And exhale, bring the arms down and a little squeeze to the back. Wonderful. And we're keeping that rib cage under control and keeping the chin back. We'll do one more with the shoulder squeeze. And then let's start to add in our foot pedals. So just normal arm floats, but let's add in a foot pedal, lifting one heel and rolling back down. Thinking about where that heel is going as you place it back down underneath the hip. So working with what range of mobility you've got. So if you've got any impingements in the toes or in the feet, just make sure you're not working through pain or discomfort. And we'll do one more each side. Now leave the arms here. We're going to take the foot down into a foot pedal the other way, but you're going to take the arm back. So you want opposite arm forward to leg. So you're both that way, so you want to be like that. And switch. That's it, Chris, you were doing it right then. No, swap. Opposite arm forwards to your knee. So opposite arm That's it. And keep it moving. It's a bit early for coordination work. That's it. Just see how that feels with the shoulders. And we're going to add in a little bit of rotation in a moment. So, if any of you have any spinal conditions where rotation isn't good for you, so osteoporosis in particular, you're just going to stay facing the front. But if you can, this time we're going to try not to hitch the hip and just turn and follow with the rib cage a little bit. So the hips stay facing the front and level, and we're just going to go from side to side with a little bit of rotation now. That's it. Just watch, 'cause it's very easy to hitch the hip when you're doing this, to sort of pull you around. So think you're working across from rib to hip. And last one. And down. Now let's take a nice big stretch up. Inhale. Open the arms wide. And down. And we're going to lift out at the hips. Just take a little stretch to the side. Breath in. And exhale. Pull up tall. Inhale over. And exhale. Pull up tall. Lengthening the body on both sides. And up. Okay. We're going to take the arms forwards. Collarbones wide. We're folding into Cossack. And we're going into a heel strike. So let's peel one foot up. Strike the heel. Pick it back up. And roll it down. Heeling up. Strike the heel. Pick it up. And down. So it is more your standing leg that's doing the work, because we're trying not to sit into that hip. Staying pulled up. And up. And in. One more each leg. And then we're going to add a few little bits into this. Okay, we're going to add in a rock. So we're going to heel up, strike the heel, rock forwards, rock back, and step in. Lovely. Heel up, strike the heel, rock forwards, rock back. So lots of lovely movement through those feet. And if you're feeling brave, if it feels okay, we can start to make that pick up a little bit bigger. So into a knee lift. And down. Very good. Heel up. Let's strike that heel and rock forwards. And rock back. Pick up. And step down. Excellent. Let's strike that heel. Rock forwards. Rock back. Pick it up. And down. One more. Rock forwards. Rock back. Now this time when we pick the leg up, you're going to step it to here. So you're in open tandem. Okay. Now we've all got different legs in front. Whichever leg is in front, you're going to go that way. Okay. So you're going to take a stretch over the side where your front leg is. And pull up. So let's think about engaging that inner thigh a little bit more. Think about squeezing your thighs together. Now if you feel that that turns your legs and you feel like you grip into your hips, think more of pulling your knees together to the inside rather than turning and wanting to pull your heels together. Does that make sense? We'll do one more. Okay, now you're going to step onto that back foot. Let's pick the knee up and step it back. So get into that open tandem again. So same pressure down through each foot. Let's squeeze the legs together. You're going over that front leg. Stretch. And up. So keep pulling up tall as you recover. You're probably going to find you good to know that that's completely normal. Okay, let's step onto that back foot, lift the arms, lift the knee, and we're going to step back down. Wonderful. Right, we're just going to do a quick recap of monkey squats, starting with the hip hinge, and then we're going to start travelling sideways. Okay, so let's step the feet a little bit wider and just check that we are still parallel. So we start by recapping the hip hinge. We take the hands into the hip creases so that we feel we're not trapping that little finger. And we're going to press into the heels and push the hips back. And then tall, pushing down through the heels. Lovely. So if you're doing this at home, take care not to push the hips forwards as you come back up. So what we don't want to do is overextend. So let's just send the hips back, keeping the spine neutral. And up. And one more. Right. Let's bring those arms down and go into our monkey squat. So into the heels and hinging forwards. Let's bend the knees down over the toes and push up. Into the heels and hinge forwards. Inhale down if you can remember the breathing pattern, and exhale to push up. Lovely, so you're going to keep those going for me. Hinge and down into your squat. And pushing up, so keeping the back of the neck long so the chin is connected to that collarbone. That's it, down into that squat. And pushing through the heels to come up. We'll do one more like this and then we're going to add a little bit in. We're just going to do some nice shoulder work here. So this time as you lower, you're going to turn your hands and squeeze them round to the back. And then as you come back up, bring them back round. Okay, so shoulder issues, just work through your pain-free range of movement. Let's take the arms forward, collarbones wide and shoulders down. So you're going to hinge, turn the hands, squeeze round. So reach for something behind you. And push up, bring the arms back round. Lovely. Turn and push around and come back up. Lovely. So if you're doing this at home, keep that movement going. Into that squat and pushing back up. And we'll do one more. And pushing back up. Lovely. Now, let's bring the arms down. We're going to step onto the right leg and bring the left leg up into a knee lift. Step it back out. Come down into your squat. Step onto the right leg and straight up into your knee lift. Step it out into your squat and up into your knee lift. One more like this, into your squat. Now we're going to come up into the knee lift, but now you're going to step that leg behind you. Hinge forward and we're ready for lunges. Okay, let's try and keep that back heel off the floor, bring the arms down, and you're going to sink into that heel at the front, press it down into the floor, and push back up. Again, inhale down, and exhale, push up. So keep that going. If you're really pushing down into that heel, you'll feel the hamstrings activating. One last one, and pushing up. So from there, we need to pick that leg up, and step it out, and step onto it, into a knee lift. Stepping it out, come down into your squat. Knees over toes and spine long. Let's push it up onto the left leg, lift the right knee. Into your squat. And push up, up. Remember to stay tall, keep that core active. Step it down into your squat. And up into your knee lift. And one more. Okay, into that knee lift. And we're stepping it back. Okay, arms down, hinge forwards. Ready for your lunges. So we're thinking of pushing the heel into the floor and pushing back up. That's it, hips are lowering at the same level so we're not twisting. And up, keep it going, 2 more. Down into that lunge. And up, one last one. And up, and then let's bring that leg up into the knee lift. And step it down. Very well done, that was a nice little sequence. Excellent. Okay, so from there, we're going to try and get the head and the neck moving a little bit. So again, if you've got any spine issues or if you do have a diastasis that you're working on at the minute, watch for taking too much rotation, just take it gently and let your hips move. So we're going to take the arms forwards and open them out. We're going to sort of round the arms. Now we're going to take a little turn to the right. Look to your right hand and you're going to follow it as you reach up and over. Now just soften the knees and reach towards the other hand, knees going forwards. Push up and open, inhale. You're going to exhale as you come over and just think about tucking the pelvis back and feeling a stretch into the lower back. Inhale, open. Exhale, over. One last one. And exhale. So we're getting that little length in the lower back, and then we're just going to push up and open the arms and take a little rotation to the left. So follow that hand up and over and exhale. And follow it back. So just watch for if it does start to make you feel a little bit dizzy following that hand, just turn with the body, but if you can, try and move that head. So we're going to do 2 more, up and over, scooping in, and opening, last one, exhale, and inhale, and let's turn, bring the arms down, lovely, just give those shoulders a roll, wonderful. We're going to come down into kneeling now. So bring yourself safely down. If you're at home and kneeling isn't available to you, you could sit at the front of the chair to do this. Just make sure you're not leaning back onto a back support because we want to work the core. So we're up on the knees and just making sure that they are directly underneath the hips and that your feet are parallel too. So try to rest down on the tops of the feet, but if that does cause cramp or that's not available to you, tuck the toes or a rolled up towel under the feet. Okay, so from that position I want you to lengthen up away from the hips, feel that core is nice and active, and we're just going to start to take an opposition arm swing like we did at the beginning. And just keep that breath flowing. And just resisting turning with it. So we're giving that arm a little lift at the back, warming up those triceps, and you're both keeping your shoulders beautifully open, which is really good. And one more, and then bring the arms down. We're going to turn the palms away now and do a lat pull down. So what I'd like you to try and maintain is that length in the body, because as we push the arms down, it's tempting to sort of go with them. Okay, so I want you to think that you're growing taller as the arms push down. So let's take a breath in and exhale, push down, feel as though you're trying to reach the side of your knees, and inhale, release. Exhale, push push down, so it's a very small movement. Inhale, release. That's it, keep that going, and you should feel that it tightens under the armpit and down into the back here. Exhale, pushing down. And release. One more. And then we're going to add in a little shoulder squeeze. So this time we'll take that breath in. As you exhale, you're going to push down and open the front of the shoulders. Turn the arms around. Lovely. And release. Reaching down and then pulling round to open the chest. And again, we're feeling for if we start to push the bottom rib forwards or the chin forwards. But you're both doing that beautifully. So inhale down. Exhale. Squeeze. One more. And turn. Now we need to give those muscles a nice stretch out because they've just worked quite hard. So we need to turn the palms to the front. Lead with the thumbs all the way. You're going to reach out wide and stretch up to the ceiling. Shoulders stay down. Think of pushing your little fingers up to the ceiling and then bring the arms down again. And let's do that one more time. Taking a breath in. Reaching up. And down. Lovely. Just give those shoulders a roll. Right, we're going to do the 100 now. But in kneeling. So we're going to turn the palms away, lengthen the neck, and take the arms slightly behind you. Just feel a little squeeze into the triceps, shoulders are open, we're not hollowing to do this. Okay, we're going to do 5 beats for a breath in, 5 beats for a breath out. And try not to do a Mr. Bean dance while you're doing it. Okay, so hang on to that core. Okay, let's get ready. So take a breath in. Exhale, and then beat. As though you're treading water. Really push, get those arms switching on. Right, let's take those arms round, lace the fingers, and let's nod the chin and just take a stretch forwards. Breathe into the back. And then if it's available to you, stretching the arms up. And reaching out wide and down. Wonderful. From there, we're going to come into 4-point position. So if you need to measure, it's elbows to knees onto the fingertips, and then heel of the hand down, spreading the fingers out. So if you're at home and this isn't available to you, then resting the forearms on a coffee table or something sturdy, just to support those wrists. So feeling that we're lengthening the spine and we're supported from underneath. We're not just hanging into our back muscles and making them do all the work. Nodding that chin slightly, and just make sure you have got hips over knees and shoulders over wrists, and you're not just slightly back. We want to feel that downward pressure through the arms. So quick check of the elbows, have they locked forwards? Just see if you can soften them slightly inwards. And we're going to start with cat pedals. Let's press into the heel of one hand, and then exhale, bend the other elbow and lift the hand off the floor. Take it down, inhale, exhale. So it's the hand that's on the floor, that's the side that's doing the work. So what we want to feel is a nice wrap around the shoulder blades. So if you're doing this at home, keep that going. And just gently going from side to side and making sure we feel like we're not tilting or moving the shoulders. We'll do one more each hand. Remember, any time your wrists have had enough and you need to give them a little rest, please do, and then just join back in when you're ready. So from there we're going to go straight into pinpoint arms and legs, but we're going to keep it on the mat to begin with. So feeling supported from underneath. Let's take a breath in and extend opposite arm and leg, and exhale, pull back in. So as you do this, I want you to take your awareness into the shoulders and the pelvis. Are they tilting from side to side as you move? So we're going to keep that movement going. Extend opposite arm and leg. Now if you're feeling ready to, we're going to start to add in a lift. So let's extend and then take a breath out. Reach opposite arm and leg. Down and back in. Extend and reach. Down and in. So this is where I want you to be very aware of what's lifting that leg. We want to feel it's the big glute at the back rather than any pinching into the lower back or twisting the pelvis. So really stretch that leg away as you lift, like you're trying to reach the wall behind you. And we'll do one last one. And in, wonderful. Just take a sit back to your shell stretch or slump stretch if that's not available. Breathing into the back, try and send that breath all the way down to your hips. Now let's just turn the palms upwards and give the fingers a wriggle. So head relax down. Lovely, and then we're going to come back to that 4-point position for a little bit of mobility work. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of rotation of the upper back. So again, it's that feeling of staying forwards, over the arms, over the knees, and we're going to pick up one arm and take fingertips to the shoulder. Now start to lift that elbow and feel your shoulder blade glide in towards your spine. Can you pull on that feeling a little more and turn the rib cage and bring it back down. So you lift the elbow to feel that squeeze and then start to turn and back down. So it is only a small movement and I'd like you to feel it, so keep that going in your mid-back area rather than down into your waist. Okay, if you're really forcing it and trying to turn the whole body, we're not quite getting the right movement, so think just turning that rib cage. We'll do one more this side. And down. Lovely, let's take it to the other side. So press down through your stabilising arm, reach the other arm out, fingertips to shoulder, and then notice what happens to the shoulder blade if you start to lift the elbow. Feel that movement and then follow it. And down. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to come down. So let's do that a few more times. Just feeling that nice glide. Lovely, that's good. And then when you're done, just take a sit back into your shell stretch again and just give those wrists a little release. So deep breath into the back. So shell stretch or slump stretch if that's better. And then curling back up. Okay, we're going to come into a little bit of side lying work now. So this is going to be interesting, managing both of these. So I'm going to turn my mat this way. Hopefully you can still see me online. And if you've got your block or your cushion, so if you guys have your heads that way, bring your feet towards me. It's It's nothing that you don't know, so I'm going to demo it and then I'm going to be getting up and watching. So we take ear onto the block and just make sure that you're lying in a long straight line. So you can use the edge of your mat for that. Shoulders down away from the jaw and feeling that you're just gently lifting your waist away from the floor as well. Now you can take that top hand in front for a little bit of support, but I'd like you to feel like you're rolling more towards your bottom knee than back onto your glutes. Okay, so top leg, we're doing side leg one. Let's stretch that foot. Now keep stretching it away from you as you lift. Flex the foot and bring it back down. So at home, if you're doing this, if you've had a hip replacement recently and you can't take your legs together, pop a cushion between your knees as well. Stretch and lift. Flex and down. So really reach that leg away. Lovely. Keep that going for me. Flex and down. Now we're going to do one more, and I'd like you to make it a small lift. So if you're joining at home, I'm going to do it with my arms. You're going to lift. Now flex the foot. Take a breath in for me. As you exhale, push that leg behind you. Feel your glutes squeeze and bring it back in. That's it. Try not to roll back onto your glutes as you do it. So exhale, push back. Inhale, back in. Exhale, push back. Inhale, back in. We're doing one more. That's it. But as you bring the leg forwards this time, you're going to bring it all the way forwards and pop your knee down onto the mat. Okay, we're going to be working the bottom leg now. So what I'd like you to do is flex the foot and feel that you're resting on the outside blade of your foot rather than the top of your foot. Because if you're resting on the top of your foot is twisted. So flex that foot and you're on the outside blade. Push the heel away. You're going to take a breath out and lift that leg. So again, hip replacements, this isn't for you. I want you to stay there and just do a gentle squeeze of that cushion between your knees. And down. So we exhale to push away and just making sure we're not twisting that leg as you do it, so you're getting a good inner thigh engagement. Very nice. Pushing that ankle up towards the ceiling and landing on the outside blade. Let's do two more. Push and down. Very good. One last one. And down. Lovely. From there, you're just going to use your hands and push up into a propped position. So you're coming onto your elbow, palm down. Now again, hip replacements, cushion between the knees. But we're going to have the knees softly bent. And just make sure you feel like you're not sinking into that shoulder. Lift away and lift the ribs away from the floor. We're going into mermaid. So Chris, just lengthen your spine a little for me. Wriggle your hips away so that you feel nice and long. Lovely. Let's take that arm up. Inhale. Now exhale, lift the ribs away from the floor and reach overhead. Shoulder issues, just take it to where you can and then bring it back down again. So we take that arm up, we lift the ribs away from the floor, but stay over that elbow. So notice if you push away from it to do this, because if you do that, you're not going to get that feeling of work in that underneath side. So the arm comes up, we reach over and back down. We're going to do just one more. Lift, lift the ribs and over we go and down. Wonderful. From there, we're going to roll ourselves over onto our back. So pop your block to the side for now and you're coming over onto your back. So knees bent, settle down into the mat, shoulders open, and we're resting on the little finger. So let's just take a bit of awareness down the body. Chin is nodded, back of the neck is long, and we feel the shoulders are open. Even pressure on both shoulder blades, and that your bottom rib is connected to the mat. And then we've got some length in the spine and even pressure on each side of the pelvis. So we're going to start with a little pelvic curl. So I want you to think that there's a little marble halfway between your pubic bone and your tummy button. We're going to take a breath in, big breath in. And as you exhale, can you lift the pelvic floor and roll that marble towards your tummy button? So you're just scooping in. And inhale, roll it back to the middle. Exhale, curling in. And inhale, release. So let's keep that going. But what I like to do is notice if you just pull in at the waistband, or do you feel all the muscles switch on right from between the hip bones and all the way up to that bottom rib, so that you create a scoop and a curl. Maybe you're feeling that you're squeezing your bottom to do it as well. So just try and make it all about those tummy muscles. We're going to make it a little bit bigger now. We're going to add in a little hover of the hips. So let's roll that marble, and I'd like you to push down into your heels and just lift the hips off the floor, just a fraction, hold it. And can you get that same nice scoop and curl to lower back down, tilt the marble back to the middle. And again, we curl under and just push down through the heels like you're trying to push them through the floor. Just lift the hips just a fraction and curl back down. And we're going to start to take that higher and more up into a shoulder bridge. So if you're doing this at home, let me just sort that out. If you're doing this at home, if you have spinal issues, neck injury, shoulder injury, you're only going to come as far as your shoulder blades. But otherwise you can come all the way up. So get that little curl, start to lift the hips, and then I want you to think of pushing your knees forwards as you lift higher. Push them over those ankles, take a breath in at the top, and then see about getting that lovely scoop as you lower back down. So we're going to curl. Feel that push down into the heels, and even though we're pushing into the heels, just watch the toes popping off the floor, pop into that lift, and then curling all the way back down. Wonderful. Let's just take both legs out when you land. And then stretch them out. We're going to take a nice strong flex of the feet to draw your toes towards you, stretch the legs out, and then take a breath in, stretch the toes away, take the arms overhead, and exhale, flex the feet, bring the arms down, and relax. Right. We're going to roll over onto the other side now to repeat our side lying. So you're going to take your ear onto the block and just check you're in a straight line, shoulders down, and just watch for that head being forwards as well. So think of the neck lining up with the rest of the spine, core switched on, waist gently lifted away from the floor and feeling like you're rolling a little bit more towards your kneecap than back onto your hips. Okay, let's stretch out that top leg and reach it away as you lift, flex the foot and back down. So we're going to stretch and lift, flex, and down. So again, hip replacements, hope you've got that cushion between your knees. And we're keeping that going, stretch and lift, flex and lower. So feeling that this is happening in the side of the hip rather than the front of your thigh. Stretch and lift, flex and down. And then this next one we're going to hold, so don't lift too high. Stretch and lift just hip height. Now flex the foot and take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to push that heel behind you. Push it back and bring it in. Inhale. Exhale, push it behind you. Inhale, bring it back in again. Exhale to push back. Inhale in. And one last one. Now remember, as you bring the leg forwards, this time you're going to bend the knee, bring it all the way forwards and rest it down onto the mat so that we can switch to inner thigh. So bottom leg, flex that foot, push your heel away from you and make sure you're resting on the outside blade of your foot. Let's take a breath in, lengthen the leg and exhale, push up. So hip replacements, you're just doing a little cushion squeeze between both knees. Exhale up, inhale down, landing on that outside blade rather than the top of the foot, so you know you're not twisting that foot into a funny shape. And you'll feel it if you are, because you'll get like a strain down the shin if you're twisting that foot, but those are looking good. And down, we've got one more, so it's that nice lift and down. Wonderful. So let's push ourselves up into that propped position now. So we're coming onto the forearm, palm down, knees together and roll slightly forwards onto that bottom knee, lifting out of the shoulder. That's it, lengthening the spine. Let's take that arm up and exhale, reach for the ceiling with the ribs and stretch over. And come back down. Inhale up. Exhale, lift the ribs and we're staying over that elbow. And down. So just work with your breath. We've got two more. Arm is coming up. That's it. Lift the ribs. Stay over the elbow. And down. And we've got one more. Lifting those ribs. And down. Wonderful. From there, we're going to come safely up into standing. So, bringing yourselves around. And if you can, you're going to use a squat if that's not appropriate for you. Whichever way is comfortable. Okay. Back to our good standing posture. Let's just find that we're settled into the feet, standing tall. Let's take the arms up. Now I'm going to reach out wide. Take one arm over and the other arm down. Reach for the ceiling, lengthen. Big breath in and exhale to go all the way over to the other side. Reach for the ceiling, lengthen this side as you inhale. And exhale, let's bring the arms down, soft knees, breath in to stretch up, and exhale. There you go, very well done. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning.